swimming miles in 16 minutes. Okay? They're good swimmers. There are none of them that swim under 80 strokes a minute. 80 to 100 strokes a minute. One second. There was a race about 2 years ago in Brazil, 10 kilometers. 10 kilometers is a standard open water race now for Olympics, which got introduced in 2008. In the 10K race, very elite field, 15 athletes only, invitational. And some of you guys that were at our beach swims last summer, 2 kids from Australia came to swim with us, the Grimsey boys. Yeah. Remember those guys? It's a little pasty, skinny, tall, fast. Yeah. Great kids. So one of them was in that race in Australia, and the pack of about 8 or 10 were at the front. They'd already dropped 4 or 5 others, but about 8 or 10 guys were together. And at 6,000 meters, this is 6,000 meters into a 10,000 meter race. At the elite level, a 10,000 meter race takes those guys about 2 hours. So it's equivalent to running a marathon. At 6,000 meters, Trent turned it on, just ignited, made a breakaway, and he went to 100 strokes a minute. And he held 100 strokes a minute for the remaining 4,000 meters. Okay? Well, it took a little bit of training to get there, obviously. And the whole field ended up igniting their stroke rate too, and most of them were between, as I checked, 86 to 96 strokes a minute. And that comes with training, but that's what elite athletes are training at and racing at. Yes?
So to do that fast of a stroke rate, do they have to shorten their stroke?
They don't shorten their strokes. They train fast. And we're going to get into this in training, in the training segment. Most triathletes, in my opinion, train slow. In workouts, you swim too slow. And because you think, well, I got to swim 2.4 miles, so I'm just going to go out and see how far I can swim. I got an hour today, I'm going to swim for an hour. And you swim too slow. Those guys train fast. To race fast, train fast. Real fast. You got a question here?
How do you reconcile the picking up your stroke count with, aren't we always trying to reduce our stroke count for 25?
This is a fantastic question. How do you reconcile your stroke count or picking up your stroke count when you're supposed to reduce the number of strokes, is the question you're asking, per length. The number of strokes per length, guys, is something that's been propagated within the triathlon space that you need to tear the page out. It's not that important. Here's why. At the elite level of swimming, let's take the Olympic Games. You check the athletes that are swimming the 400 meter freestyle, taking an event that's 4 minutes long, or even the 1500 meter freestyle, something that's somewhat closer to you guys' distances. They're swimming at a stroke rates of 80 something strokes a minute, okay? There are a couple athletes right now. There's one guy from Korea who's at 66 strokes a minute. Now when he started going fast in the last 200 meters, he was up to 80 strokes a minute. So he can swim at 80, but everybody else were in the 80, 88 strokes a minute. They have a very narrow band where they keep their stroke rates, 80 to 88. However, the number of strokes to actually get across the pool does vary, even at the elite level. Some athletes can take, since most of you guys swim yards, short course, the short pool, elite swimmers can swim across the pool in 11 strokes in a race, and some take 17. And they're still real elite. So if the number of strokes to get across the pool were really that important, you wouldn't have a 60% variance. Whereas the variance in cadence rate sits in a really narrow band. So it's a little bit of a measurement of efficiency, how many strokes to get across the pool. Michael Phelps can get across the pool, I'm pretty sure, in 6 strokes. But he doesn't swim at 6 strokes in a race. Nobody does. So it's a measure of absolute efficiency and gliding, but it doesn't translate to speed. And the last time I checked, we weren't swimming to look pretty. We were swimming to swim fast. I mean, there's no prize at the end of the swim in the triathlon for looking good. I mean, we want to look good, it's LA, but. So, all right, anybody else?
I had one question on that. How do you go from, I mean, you know my stroke, and I was all the catch-up stroke. That's kind of was what my coach taught me. But how do you reconcile? I feel like the first 25, you're doing hundreds fast. The first 25, I feel like my stroke rate is fast and fine. And the next 25, it starts to slow down a little bit, and my hands start to you know, and then the last bit you're just like slogging through the water. Like,
Right.
is that? I mean, this may be a question more for the training or strength or whatever, but
Jen's a professional triathlete, turned pro last year. Yeah. Good half Ironman athlete, 4:30, in that range. Fast. And started swimming a year ago. I met her at her first camp, I believe that was your first camp, in Tucson, and she was I would classify her as a poor swimmer at that point. Yeah, but now she's gone from swimming 3 lengths of the pool, all out, from what I remember, in 1 minute and 2 seconds. You guys were swimming those 75s in 1 minute and 2 seconds. Now she can swim a 100, 4 lengths in about 106. Okay? An extra length now, 4 seconds off. She can repeat 100s now on a 120 interval, going 113s, 114s, 115s. Massive, massive improvements. Your specific question, so that's her background. Your specific question, it happens to everybody, even at the elite level. And the answer is just training. That's all it is. Guys, sorry to break the news to you. No shortcuts. No shortcuts.
How important is high elbow, keeping the high elbow?
Really, really important, but not massively important. But it's important. We don't want it down. How high is sometimes it has to do with flexibility. Some people are not as flexible up here, but we definitely need it above your wrist.
Gerry, you mentioned on the equipment, I don't know if you want to cover this in training or not, but paddles versus no paddles.
Great question. Paddles versus no paddles. Since there's nobody here under 20 minutes per mile, none of you guys should be wearing paddles. This will be something that out of the 20 topics by that guy Joel and the other coach, Brett Sutton, who recommends it, Sarah Lindley recommends him. I don't recommend them at all. If you're going to wear paddles, for you guys, wear a paddle no bigger than your hand. Here's why. If you can't swim under 20 minutes for a mile, you're still not yet strong enough to generate enough watts to drive a big paddle and keep good stroke mechanics. So when I watch swimmers, and I've seen swimmers that are as fast as about 17:30 for a mile wearing paddles, and they put those big paddles in, and they have them here. They're made by Tier, called a Catalyst. I've seen them. They look like trash can lids to me. They're massive. I mean, they're just huge. They put them on, and they start swimming, and then that elbow just falls down because the surface area is so large, they can't generate the strength and the force to move the paddle through the water with good mechanics. So why practice bad mechanics? So if you're going to use paddles, don't. And if you're really going to use them, make them really, really small ones.
What about the 20 ones that are designed to keep the high elbow? They're more perform.
They're too big, I think. They're still too big. They're still not, I don't think any of you guys should be wearing paddles. If you come and swim with us, I'll lock your ankles up with those ankle bands. You'll go, I really don't want any paddles. I mean, there are ways to get what you need. And really, you guys, if you want to put load, okay, which is really the question is, why are paddles invented? Well, supposedly to create load to make you stronger. The real way to do it is to reduce your hand size and increase your weight down here. So tie something around your waist with weight and make your small hand pull that weight through, not larger hands. And what does larger hands do also? Slows down stroke rate. Stroke rate is the key to fast swimming. So, from my perspective, no paddles.
Do you recommend a parachute?
Go ahead, sorry.
Do you recommend a parachute?
The parachute, a little too advanced for this audience, but for you, yes. Yeah.
Where'd you get those? Where'd you get those?
The parachute,
Yeah.
Finis,
They make 2 sizes.
yeah. Yes, Derek.
What was the rationale between using the kid size buoy? I don't think you explained